Sometimes I want the fucking easy jobs, you know? Unlike you bastards, I actually have to do the hard thinking. Oh, eat my ass, you bitches.
You just want to carry on like a bitch.
Oh yeah. How many cars have you got done in 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, yo, that's total. Already have a problem. They sent us the wrong motor mount. Alex is going through and labeling basically every single wire. Where's that steel? Actually, hey. Welcome back to the chicken nuggets. Here we are with our good friend, our 5.0. We've already hit a dilemma today. This is basically the first day we're working on this outside of starting it. Already have a problem. They sent us the wrong motor mount. They sent us a passenger side, not a driver's side. My options are here. We cut that straight and then cut the extra motor mount for the passenger side up and we weld it. We got an aluminum welder over there. Or we message them again and let them know they sent us the wrong one and hopefully get the right part in the week. But I think I'm leaning towards waiting because when we do go high power on this this view here wagon thing, we do not want to break a motor mount and then have a Coyote jump around in the engine bay. So we're just gonna wait, but we're also gonna not wait where we're gonna throw it in the car. I think I want to see where it sits at least. That way we know if everything else is gonna work and not just, you know, the motor mounts. What we're doing right now, and you'll see on the time lapse, Alex is going through and labeling basically every single wire. I'm gonna go behind him and I'm going to write on the wiring what it is, where it goes to, and what it functions to do. Basically, that's what we're going to be doing here really quick. Then we're going to unbolt that air intake. Gonna take this fuel tank, stick it aside for now, take all the extra parts that are just chilling down here, put them aside, and then hopefully we'll be able to have all that wiring under there disconnected, and we'll be able to start figuring out where we want to put everything. And as for the wagon today, we got to take the front seat and back seat out. We're gonna do 4 bucket seats instead of the 2, you know, bench seats. So, and we're also probably gonna tear the carpet out because we might be cutting a lot of the firewall out if this thing doesn't fit the way we want it to. It's a journey already, but here we are.
All around.
And oh yeah, and I forgot. I don't want to buy a special engine or engine lift plate. I don't want to buy a special engine lift plate. So we're gonna have to figure out some wacky doodle system with a chain to get this up in the air. Not sketchily. That's a new word. Sketchily. It's gonna be a good day.
Rat's nest.
Finding them rats down in there. Ain't got no live ones. That's a lot of junk. That is.
I think this one was a premium, right?
I would definitely say so. I don't know. Who knows? I think it was. The nice part is I think they've done. I don't even see the nice part. I don't even know what's going on right now. We're gonna probably tear this harness off and disconnect it from the actual engine, and we can start sorting out where everything needs to actually go. Because at this point,
basically anything that ain't labeled,
we
don't really need.
Well, anything that's not connected.
Otherwise, we labeled basically everything that needs to be plugged in.
Yeah, we'll lay it out on the ground so we know what needs to go inside the car and what needs to go in the engine bay
or in the dash.
Or shoved in the dash.
Yeah.
See how much a colder intake makes it clean up itself.
And without the stupid sound tube.
Oh gosh, that thing, literally that air intake takes up half like an engine bay.
Yeah.
Looks
It's huge.
Oh, you know, I'll be honest with you, the only thing I'm really scared of is figuring out where these heater hoses all need to go and want to go. These new engines like to have bypass hoses everywhere. So as it is right now, this thing should still start up and run. We could disconnect the column and it would still run, just without all the wood, per se. And I like how they just, you know, this is just chilling without a cover.
The cover's over there. Cover was on the other side of the pallet.
I don't know what that's about, but it looks like they pulled a lot of fuses. They pulled whatever.
Slap everything on this pallet in the quickest manner possible.
Well, that's all nice and good. I mean,
at least it works.
At least it ran. That's all that matters.
And the only thing that was wrong with it is that broken mount still.
Yeah, and that freaking harness rubbed
but
apart. That sucks still.
I guess I'll get that on these here big jobs.
You'll have that on these here big job.
Mounts.
Man, they got some carpenters working there. I'm proud.
Just a little update. Bolt set this thing came with. Actually fitting some holes there on side of the block.
And we're gonna put a chain up and over, and then we're gonna use our engine hoist, obviously, to get it up in the air. And then we disconnect basically everything. We'll get it up in the air. We'll pull this wiring from it, put the wiring aside for now until we get it mounted, and then we'll run the wiring again.
And we're also going to take a look at my 5.0 back at home and see how this wiring is all placed.
We got to see how it's placed so we can kind of mimic it in the wagon, see what we can actually hide under the dash and what we can't, how much length we have. As much as I'd love to put this fuse box underneath the dash so that we don't have to worry about it, so it looks cleaner in the engine bay. But if we have to mount in the engine bay, that's fine. As long as it looks stock, I'm happy. Basically, your main negatives for this whole engine, where they actually connect, are down here on your passenger side motor mount and on your back of your trans on right here. So those are your two main negatives that you need to keep around, and you make sure you have those connected. Obviously, I tell you this because negatives are some of our grounds. Grounds are kind of our worst enemies. Sorry, I've been doing house wiring, so make sure you get everything disconnected. There's a stud on your AC compressor on the top and the bottom. I'd like to say they're both grounds, but we're not 100% sure on the bottom, especially because that might be a positive to run it, but I think that's supposed to be right here. As of yet, we're gonna leave our stock headers on it until we get it in and out a couple times, and we'll see how much play we have, and we'll see if it's possible for us to use our long tubes we got. And then after it's in and everything, we'll take those off, put the long tubes on it, then take our intake manifold off after we get all mounted, and we'll be putting our goodies in, our little performance goodies. There we are. We'll be hopefully on our way to somewhat of a moving car. We still have to put the wagon in the air, and we got to take here's the driver's side tailpipe is still on it, as well as the freaking drive shaft. Right now I think we're gonna go down and get some pool noodles to go play in our pool. No, I'm just kidding. To go around the chain so we don't absolutely torch our valve covers or coil covers, or whatever you want to call those suckers. I think they're valve covers, cam covers. I just keep talking to myself. As you see it right now, we have pretty much what they did for us all disassembled, and we're ready to start throwing it in and out a couple times. I really wish we had that motor mount, because I guarantee we'd have this mounted by the end of the day and be ready to start it in the car by tomorrow or by the next time we work on it. As you know, on this channel, that's how it goes. We always get El Screwed, unless we go and take Alex's motor mount off his car.
Cause the foam, Sean.
The foam?
What's going on here?
I said pool noodles, and we didn't get pool noodles.
Because they didn't have any pool noodles.
Oh, I forgot to drill the other one bigger. We got foam to put around the chain so we don't crack our valve covers. They didn't have pool noodles, so we're gonna use some pipe insulation and also some, where's the other foam? We have some more foam somewhere. What in the same? Did you do something with it?
No, I didn't.
Well, this is why we never get anything done. Oh, it's up there. We're putting foam on the chain so we don't crack stuff. Moral of the story.
Because new engines always have a bunch of plastic.
Oh, a bunch of plastic. Quit fucking cussing.
It's about to go down. Cover your ears. It's about to get loud. It's getting loud.
course it's bigger. The bolt we just took off, or nut, was for the main engine ground. Oh, here she is. Come on, come on.
One sec. Pull carefully.
Okay, remember that goes to there. Those oxy and transfer sensors. We have it on film, so
Yeah.
that's free. Free to your new home. And those bolts seem to be pretty stable.
Yeah, the only worrisome thing is the chain going around all this plastic.
So it looks like to me, I wasn't sure, but there's really no mounts on the bottom of this transmission. So I'm gonna have to make a plate for the back here. If you look at these three little areas, I'm gonna make a plate, a triangled plate, come down, and somehow incorporate an isolator in there so it doesn't shake anything to death. But that's kind of messed up that they didn't give us the transmission mount. The only negative so far about the pallet, motor mount's busted, and we didn't get a transmission mount, and we didn't get the isolators for the motor mounts. We actually just ordered some new motor mounts, both sides, Ford Performance motor mounts from CJ Pony Parts. I guess might look into getting some transmission mounts. If not, I'm pretty sure I can whip something up. I still got some T56 mount laying around somewhere that has an isolator on it. That's still pretty good. So.
Otherwise, it's up in the air.
Yep.
Free. Those the rat's nest back there.
Yep, and actually the rat's nest not that bad. We didn't have too many awful spots.
Yeah, it's just wrapped around there pretty good. Definitely have to see how
It goes
my
back
Mustang is wrapped around with the harness.
Well, we took it off and it should go on about the same exact way.
Yeah.
So, it's up in the air. We're gonna hopefully get it so it's sitting on the front accessory drive and the transmission. That the pan on these are plastic, most like every other newer pan, or composite. I'm not sure the makeup exactly, but it's some kind of deal. You know, I don't want it to break, so we can't really rest the whole engine on it. We'll see how it sits and how it wants to sit. That is steel. Actually, hey, guess what? It's actually either aluminum or metal, so we might be able to rest it on if we're very careful.
Got pretty dinged up right there.
Yeah, well, again, this guy fucking grabbed it with a forklift and just started yanking and broke the motor mount and then gouged the shit out of that. Oh, and right here, luckily that didn't puncture it. Well, I guess when they try to turn these around as quick as they can, they just don't care how they rip them out as long as they still run after they're done. All right, we're gonna get this thing out of gravity so it doesn't have so much weight on it. Oh, our wheels are all up in that junk. Good. Keep it like that.
Each time I figure I'm taking control, just letting you know these walls, they're mine. You better prepare for the thunder. You crossed the line. I'll make sure you never forget it. I'm about to even the score. Get ready, like nothing you've seen before. Get ready, yeah, I'm about to even the score. Can you feel it coming? The bed that you made is calling your name, and that clock keeps ticking. You know the sound of time running out. These walls, they're mine. You better prepare for the thunder. You crossed the line. I'll make sure you never forget it.
So, sort of successful day.
Yeah, we here's what we got done. Pulled that sucker all off the pallet. We figured out we had a broken motor mount. We figured out we don't have a transmission mount, but we also did figure out that those headers are probably not going to work. For the positive news, we got it all basically labeled. We got it off the pallet. We got it figured out where we could put the mounting points for you know, put it up in the air. Then we ordered the new motor mounts from Ford Performance and figured out how we're gonna do the training mount, which is gonna be super simple and easy. Also kind of figured out how we're gonna have to do this, how we're gonna mount the engine, gigantic isolators that it's gonna come with. I guess right now we're at a standstill until we can actually put this sucker in the car, and we don't really want to do that until we got the motor mounts on it, because it's not worth our time to just hypothesize and measure and measure and measure, because all that's just gonna do is just, you know, draw us to blanks, because we don't actually see what's going on.
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm more of a trial and error kind of guy, and I know Alex is kind of the same way. I'm not really a measure 85 times and pray that's the right.
rather just set it in there and see where it
Exactly.
will fit.
So we'll set it in there. Next time you see us, we'll have our nice brand new engine mount. We'll then from there see if we're gonna get those beautiful headers to work. And if we can get those beautiful headers to work, we're gonna have a Boss intake manifold on it. And if that is
And hopefully that'll fit under the hood.
hopefully that'll fit under the hood. Really, what the problem is it's a rear sump pan, and we really needed a front sump. Just look at that. All the way back here behind me is gonna be power steering excuse my French, but crap. And then the front will be, it was completely cleared out because originally it was a front sump pan, which if you ever watched the first Wagon video where we're gonna put the 390 back in, or 360, where the frick it is, we figured out that we needed a front sump pan for it. But luckily this engine's not, it doesn't have as tall of a height to it, so we can pretty much fab it up wherever we want to put it. We're just gonna put it up a little bit high. That way we could basically get it so we didn't need a front sump pan. And we're still gonna try to do that because I don't want to have to pull the pan on that, because that just leads to issues that I don't want to play with. You might have a leaky oil pan gasket. You might have to get a new oil pickup. And right now we got enough money in that sucker as it is. We need to adapt and overcome what we got. Until next time, I'm going to be sitting here and waiting for the motor mounts.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we say bye-bye. I'll be the last man.